Okay, guys, welcome to Fantasy Football Astrology. It's so great to see you guys back on the channel today. I'm here. I want to help you guys out. I want to help you win your leagues. That's what we're here to do. If you're new to Fantasy Football Astrology, that's right. I'm using astrology to determine what players we should be looking at, what environments, use it as a predictive science for environments. Now, last year, I made a lot of really good calls, and I've been making good calls based strictly on astrology. It's very effective, especially when there's a new quarterback in town or there's like a new situation. We don't really know if there's going to be a good, compatible environment. Remember, I told you guys last year, Robbie Anderson was going to be great. Okay? Now it's flipped and changed with Darnold back in town. The astrology isn't going to be there for him as much. I'm saying go DJ Moore this year. But last year, I said, get on Justin Jefferson. Get on Chase Claypool. Get on these guys who are representing really good astrological chemistries, guys, because it works, okay? If you look at Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, Jerry Rice, Antonio Brown, they all had perfect astrology with their quarterback. That's what really makes the difference, guys. It is the combination of astrology. There's a magnetism that is known by astrology why certain people were attracted to and others not as much. So I'm highlighting this in the channel. It's actually quite effective, and people have been asking me. They want to know the Los Angeles Rams right here, guys. This is what this board is about. We're doing kind of a deep dive into the Rams in this video, and I'm just going to try to blaze through the information here. Hopefully you guys can read it. But here's this thing. The Rams, overall, if you knew nothing else, the chemistry, astrologically speaking, is super good. There is a ton of alignment. Really, the only odd guy out in this whole board is Tyler Higbee. As a Capricorn, Matt Stafford as an air sign, that's not what you want to see, okay? So tight ends is more a kind of maybe like a mundane position where, you know, they're kind of like just a safety valve, and they usually have sure hands. And so I'm not sure how much the astrology is going to impact it, but I'm avoiding Tyler Higbee based on the astrology, based on how good his chemistry is with the other guys as well. Okay, so you got, for example, it really matters. Astrology really matters with the receivers, okay? So you look at a guy like Robert Woods, okay? Aries, that's not as good of an alignment with Matt Stafford as an Aquarius as it was with Jared Goff. Now, that's still a decent alignment. Robert Woods as an Aries is still a pretty good alignment, okay? But not as good as Jared Goff. Jared Goff was a Libra, which is would have been the polar opposite. But with an Aquarius, air going into fire, that does work, so it's still good. Robert Woods is still maintaining his value. Don't be shy if he's sitting there at the top of the board. I think he's a totally a worthy pick. And I'll continue breaking down the receivers here. Okay, now Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is an A+ alignment. Aquarius's fixed signs move into mutable. They're both air signs, guys. Okay, so that is a super good alignment. Not to mention, he kind of prototypes a bit similar to Kenny Galladay if you look at their skill sets. So I'm all in on Cooper Kupp this year. Really love that, okay? Moving on, another player I really want to highlight, and I really, especially in the deeper leagues, guys, Desean Jackson. I know he has injury problems, historically speaking, but we want to look at a full picture here. Listen to what Desean Jackson has been saying. He's been saying, I think the way they treat their players here, I feel like I could play here for another 5 years. He's indirectly speaking and saying, I could see myself. Now, when somebody says they can see themselves playing there for another 5 years, that is a very significant way of wording something, okay? So, especially for a Sagittarius, Desean Jackson is a Sagittarius, which is a visionary sign. And so when a Sagittarius says, I see something, they mean it in a literal, very potent way that's creating that for themselves. So looking at Matt Stafford to Desean Jackson, right now, guys, you can get Desean Jackson for absolutely free at the end of the draft. You could take a kicker probably before taking Desean Jackson. And guys, here's the strategy that plays out with a player like Desean, okay? He is a deep play threat, and there have been reports that they've been connecting in practice already, okay? And he is a deep play threat. So if he makes 1 to 2 big plays a game, right? Say he has one of these games where that happens. You take that huge week that he just produced and you flip him, you trade him for maybe a higher floor type player. And so that's how I like to utilize at the end of the drafts. I remember one year it was with John Ross. He had a huge week one week, and that's all he did all year long. But you use that week and you flip him and trade him for a player with a higher floor, okay? So please pay attention to Desean Jackson. The astrology is excellent with Desean Jackson and Matt Stafford, okay? And then moving on with Van Jefferson as a Leo, a polar opposite. This is a player we got to keep our eye on, guys. He's going to have a polar opposite. You know, they attract like magnets. So we got to keep our eye on Van Jefferson. If he starts showing signs of consistent emergence, we want to get on that very quickly, okay? Probably not even draftable, maybe even not even Desean Jackson, but I do encourage, I know it's hard to get them on the rosters unless they're more deep, but I do encourage trying to get your hands on Desean Jackson this year. There's a lot of positive signs pointing towards him, okay? Looking at the running game here, just a quick little fun thing. Matt Stafford and Darrell Henderson are also polar opposites, okay? Darrell Henderson has pretty dang good hands. He's a good pass-catching back, and they didn't really use him like that as much, but he can do it. And to get Darrell Henderson in the 4th round, he's going about the 4th round. You guys, I'm blown away that, you know, he has less competition than Cam Akers had. Cam Akers was basically a 1st-round pick, and he had Darrell Henderson nipping on his heels. Darrell Henderson had a better yards per carry last year than Cam Akers, okay? So I do expect their offensive line this year to take a further step back, which is a concern. But if you're getting Darrell Henderson in the 4th round, freaking jump for it, guys. Sean McVay and Matt Stafford, both are Aquariuses. This is all very good, guys. This is what I got on the Rams. I hope you dig it. I try to make it short and concise. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next. I love helping you guys out, and I love when you guys help me out too. Tell me all the insights you guys have, and let's have an awesome fantasy year. Cheers.